Ready for a mic check, guys? Mic check.
Forehead you thought was, yeah.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Okay. Y'all good? Mic check. Mic check, 1 2 1 2.
Why y'all get so quiet?
Something's gonna happen. Don't forget our speech.
No, just tap me on the butt. Sorry. That'll wake me up.
No. Well, good morning, everyone. It's good to see so many faces and community partners collectively in this room to talk about a very important topic. Since I've been in office, it has been an honor, particularly over these last few years, to work with Councilor Latan Tate. On one hand, she represents District 9 as a city councilor, and she does that very well. On the other hand, I'm not sure I've ever met a person more passionate about second chances and prevention reentry efforts for all walks of life. She'll get up here in a minute and she'll tell you her story. I want to share a little bit about my story. And a good place to start is my father. My father actually was a state combined parole probation officer, so he went back and forth in both worlds for 40 years, 39 years and 10 months to be exact. And I don't think I could appreciate it and or understand it as a child, but as an adult now reflecting back, the few opportunities as a child I had a chance to see him, or he took me to work with him. Or actually when I became an adult, I told people my name and they asked, was Randall Woodfin your father? And they would say, well, he was my parole officer or he was my probation officer. And now the appreciation post his retirement, I get it. My father every single day for 40 years, he did the business, was in the business of providing, giving second chances, stewarding, helping men and women transition out of prison and or attempting to keep them from going to prison, and or if they violated a probation and they went, even for some of them when they came out, by the time they came out, he was back on the parole side. And so standing here as mayor is not just being mayor, that I have an appreciation for what it means for community members, for city administration, partners to invest in and be intentional about second chances. But I've personally seen the work of my own family and know the impact and importance of it. That being said, I am convinced I am not the only one that believes in second chances. And it turns out that Councilor Tate is not the only one that believes in second chances. That every single person you see represented here, they and their organizations that they work for, we all collectively believe in second chances. We believe that every person should be given the opportunity to be bigger than their past, to contribute to their community and provide for their families. And we also believe that the spirit of forgiveness should be more than a buzzword. It should be an action item for all of us. And so through programs like Common Ground, we have worked to give residents a second chance for a restart. I'm excited to say that continues today with the launch of the Birmingham Reentry Alliance. Until now, there has not been a coordinated, holistic approach to returning residents that have, I guess, how can I say this? The things they needed to thrive after post-incarceration. Today, that changes with the Birmingham Reentry Alliance. Several local agencies, again, you see standing here, have aligned to ensure that justice-impacted families in Birmingham can thrive. This one-year pilot will provide housing, case management, as well as wraparound services for those returning to Birmingham from Alabama state prisons. It's our goal to serve 30 to 50 individuals in this inaugural year. Prospective participants will enroll as soon as they leave state prison, either through parole, mandatory early release, or at the end of their sentence. Now, once enrolled, participants will connect with the case manager, who will guide them through the available services to meet their needs for up to 1 year. Connections to living wages will be provided by one of the Alliance partners, which include Offender Alumni Association for peer support. By the way, shout out to Offender Alumni. We're standing in their building. I see you. But it's important that I acknowledge and name some of the other organizations and what they'll be doing as well. Salvation Army for job training and workforce development. Community on the Rise for assisting with identification and government documents. Hope Inspired Ministries for life skills training and job placement. Jimmy Hill Mission and its Reclaiming Hope program. Alethea House for substance use treatment services. Alabama Regional Medical Services for healthcare. Canterbury United Methodist Church for Welcome Home Starter Kits, and the Housing Authority of the Birmingham District for housing vouchers. This is a big deal. For each of those partners, individually and collectively, I want to publicly express my sincere gratitude to each and all of you. Thank you so much. But I also want to thank the Community Foundation of Greater Birmingham and Regions for support of this pilot. We believe this is an important step in not only revitalizing our workforce, but providing the compassion these residents need to help rebuild their lives. With that said, I'm going to bring on a person that is way more passionate, way more cooler, knows this issue in and out way better than I could ever speak to. And that is my friend and colleague, Counselor of District 9, as well as Chairwoman of the Public Safety Committee, everyone, Latan Tate.
Wow, thank you, Mayor Woodfin. This is an emotional day. It is long overdue. So if I shed some tears, it's all tears of joy. As Mayor said, I am Latan Tate. I'm the mother of a formerly incarcerated son who is no longer incarcerated. And so a little bit about my journey. In 2018, my son was sentenced to a 20-year prison sentence in the Alabama Department of Corrections. And that sparked my career change from being a nurse to obtaining degrees in criminal justice and an MPA, Masters of Public Administration with an emphasis in government and policy. It also struck me to apply for a fellowship, and I was the second Black female to win the George Soros Justice Fellowship, where my project was probation and parole practices in Alabama. And so it was during that time my son was paroled out of prison, went back to prison on not one but 2 technical violations. And so Alabama Justice Initiative, which I am the CEO and the founder, was birthed. And so one of the things that we do is we organize around mass incarceration and parole and probation issues. But reentry is very dear and near to me, because it was during that time in my tenure I was employed with the Florida Department of Corrections as a probation and parole officer that my son was sitting in the Alabama prison and nobody knew why I had the passion that I had for reentry. It's because my son was sitting in the prison, at Alabama prison. And I was supervising individuals who went to prison on some of the things he did, and they were given probation. And so one of the things I often did is I often said I want people to treat my son the way that I want to treat those that I supervise. So the goal was for me to drive change in my office in Defuniak Springs, Florida, put it on one of the first reentry fairs that they had ever seen with over 200 partners that sparked out in 67 counties. So reentry is near and dear to me. But I also believe that those that are closest to the problem are your solution solvers, like the people like the Offender Alumni Association, those that have been incarcerated, and those that are near and dear to the pain, like Ronald McKeithen. It is important that we let people lead their work. And I thank all these partners for standing here, and I thank the mayor just being in partnership and with him and just having these deep conversations to him. How do we shift and change the trajectory of Birmingham? We do that by partnering with philanthropy, public and private partners, and all of you that's in this room. So this work cannot be done without all of you, but it takes people to listen and have a heart. Most people wouldn't have the things that my son was given. He had a home. He came back to a job. But I do know the impact that incarceration has on families. And it has a deep, deep impact. We've seen a lot of mental illness. We've seen people being released on our streets in Birmingham, Alabama, homeless. And so we have to eradicate this problem. How do we eradicate that? Again, all of us as partners, which means that we need to be educating those that are in power. Why does this need to happen? Because I do believe in a scripture in the word. The king heart, we can change the king heart. Storytelling is so important. And if people that are making these laws don't hear that from the people that these issues are impacting, the things will never change. So this is a great day for Birmingham. So again, I want to thank Mayor Woodfin. I want to thank every partner that's up here. Carla Crowder is one of my partners in the trenches. So she knows how we get down in the trenches. So again, I love you all. I see Arms back here, Chris Mosley, and the CEO of Arms. So healthcare, housing, jobs, all of this is important. And what I want to charge you all up with today is the next legislative session. We want to fill the State House up with these partners and going making sure that we educate those in power why we need housing, why laws need to change, why people that are on probation or parole need second chances. And that looks like educating our parole system, the parole officers, that sometimes easy case management is what it's called. When you act up, I send you somewhere you don't need to be. Our jails and prisons are ballooned out. And it's time that we change the heart and give people second chances and forgive. That is a word, forgive, that we need to do. And practice healing and love and kindness will draw you. Thank you. And I'm going to bring up Marta Self, the Senior VP of Community Affairs. She's the Executive Director of the Regions Foundation. We thank Regions for their general donation and many more to come.
It is indeed a very exciting day. I was worried about shedding some tears here, but I am going to keep it cool here. I have my friends here from Regions Bank, so I can't make them look bad. It is an exciting day because that plan that began with Carla, Ron, Elena, and was constructed with all of you here, it is now coming to be a reality. Like Councilor Tate said, I'm Marta Self. I'm the Executive Director of the Regions Foundation. And the Regions Foundation is a nonprofit funded primarily by Regions Bank with the goal to improve and promote more inclusive prosperity in our communities. We do that by strategically focusing on 3 priorities: economic and community development, education and workforce readiness, and financial wellness. The Birmingham Reentry Alliance is tackling all 3 of these needs. Because when people have new opportunities to grow and to succeed, to write a new and more positive chapter for their lives, it not only improves the individual life, but also their families and the entire community. So let's think about that word community for a moment. This is not just about promoting and helping with second chances. This is about a coordinated community of support. And I'll say that again, a coordinated community of support, which we didn't have until today. What we are doing here is having people to walk alongside them and provide with the tools, the knowledge, the advice that they need to succeed, and most importantly, with the hope and the wisdom to not settle for less than what they can accomplish. That is why the Regions Foundation is ready and proud to support this initiative. This is something we can all rally around. Each of the 10 partners here in this alliance will be reaching people that are eager to move forward and write a better chapter for their lives. It's about moving away from the past. Where you have been should not determine where you're going. So thank you for all the community partners for what you're doing. This day marks a new and better day for so many people. And we are proud at the Regions Foundation to support this alliance. We believe in your work. And talking about success, I now call to the mic Ron McKeithen, who is the most talented and inspiration person I have ever had the pleasure to meet.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Ronald McKeithen. I'm the reentry coordinator for Alabama Alpa. I grew up in Titusville, a few blocks away. I attended Washington Elementary and Parker High School. On December 16th, 2020, I was released from prison after serving 37 years. And it's amazing when you can go through such a thing for so many years and walk out that place and have a group of people waiting on you, all smiling, crying, smiling so big you can see it through the mask. And the only thing they wanted to know was, what did I want to do with my life? And to be honest, I wanted to do what they was doing. I wanted to save lives. And so before I knew it, I had 3 part-time jobs at the same time, working at Offenders Alumni, Alethea House, and Alabama Alpa. And next time I find myself sitting at the table with the directors of these same organizations and others, and observing them as they put these pieces in places that would satisfy the needs of every individual person that come out of prison. And to know that I'm playing a part of that, it's wonderful. But I don't think you know how many people leave prison without a roadmap, not understanding what to do next. And now they're going to have a beacon, somewhere to go, and like, wow, they're going to get the same support that I've got. And these people, everyone that supported me, I trust them. They were there for me. And they've made me believe that I can really do anything I set my mind to. And so I'm proud and happy and love what I'm doing, and especially working around these people right here who have really just played a part in my growth. And I appreciate you getting an opportunity to talk. Thank you very much. And now I'm present Alina to take the stage.
Thank you
Alina,
so much, Ron.
thank you.
I'd just like to thank everybody for coming out this morning, and we will open the floor for questions.
Give Elena all your questions related to this topic.
How do people in prison apply for this program?
So currently, we have started visiting some of the prisons, but we do have a website that's up and running. So for information, we will share that website with you all today, but it is going live this week.
And are there going to be like parameters, like 30 to 50 spots? I assume is less numbers than the number of people coming back to the county. And it's like, how are you going to hit who can just...
Absolutely. So it's a true pilot in that we have controlled numbers for this first year. The only real parameters is those folks who are returning to Birmingham and without a home plan. So this program really started with the need for housing first, and then the wraparound services.
How's this program being funded, and why now?
So as you've just heard from the Regions Foundation, that's one of our funders, and also the Community Foundation. Right now, quite simply put, we start to see people show up in our warming stations in the winter, and they didn't have a plan beyond the warming station. And so these awesome people that are standing behind me came together and said, how do we meet folks when they leave those prison doors and make sure that they don't end up without housing and all of the things that they need?
I have a question for Carla. You've been in this fight for a long time. What message does this send that we have nearly a dozen organizations from all specters joined together to help those individuals coming out of incarceration?
All right, I can count on my former Birmingham News colleague to put me on this spot. I think it says that Birmingham is both a forgiving and a welcoming city, and that Birmingham is smart about public safety, because if people don't have their needs met, if they're hungry, if they're unsheltered, if they don't have a good job coming out of Department of Corrections, that's not good for public safety. Because yes, this is about second chances and forgiveness, like everyone has emphasized, but it's also about being really smart on public safety. And this says that Birmingham is able to pull together, these resources were in existence, we just needed alignment and coordination. And that's where Elena and some of these other partners have really stepped up.
So this isn't the first time that Birmingham has rolled out a program like this to help people reintegrate back into society. How does this program differ from other programs that you have seen previously?
This one is unique in that we all came together. This is not, as Carla mentioned, one organization. All of us coming together to collaborate, we think is absolutely new and needed for such a time as this.
How do you plan to evaluate the success of the pilot?
All right, so we are actually working on a metric system right now. We're planning to collect data. We have hired a case manager. Some of that will fall on her well-capable shoulders, but we're putting those processes in place right now.
How did you reach out to other organizations to participate in this alliance?
Events like today.
Because the reason I'm asking is because we're with Ingram State Technical College, so we provide correction education throughout the state. So we have trade school, and we provide them with jobs and other resources. So we would like to connect with you guys. So when people are coming to this area, we kind of know we have job placement coordinator and a career coach that's specifically set for this area. So we would like to contact you guys because we're providing skills and tools, and we just need to connect.
We love it. Let's connect.
We didn't know this would be a recruiting event. Thank you. I believe that's all the questions now. Thanks so much. I know Elena can follow up with you as well, some of the other partners. Marie has releases over there. She also has some additional information on some of the other programs the city offers. But thank you all. Thank you for what you do. Thank you all for being with us.